name is Torie Mathis. I am the founder of Miles Through Time Automotive Museum, which is here in Georgia, about 2 hours away from here. I am also a board member of NAAM, and part of NAAM's duties is introducing speakers. And this is my very first time introducing somebody, and I have the privilege of introducing my wife, Torie Mathis, which is pretty cool. Torie, I met her in 2005 while she was finishing up her advertising degree, courtesy of the Army at the University of Arts in San Francisco. In a couple years later, in 2007, she started her own business. And after 9 years of working corporate, I finally decided to stop working corporate and went full-time with her. And a few months later, I stopped working full-time with her. And we had the opportunity to start a museum, and that was it. I had no idea what I was doing, but because of Torie, she made it so that Miles Through Time became something before it was anything. So without her, there would be no Miles Through Time. So it's my privilege to introduce her to you, and she's going to tell you a little bit more about how you can rethink your digital marketing or think about it differently.
Thank you, Sean. All right, so before I start, let me get a little feel for you guys. So how many of you guys are actually involved in marketing? Yay! How many of you guys love digital marketing? How many of you guys hate digital marketing? Well, that's not too bad. How many of you guys have no idea? Okay, that's good too. Perfect. All right, so I've never spoke for an hour before, so this is gonna be short. So I'm gonna try to get through this and then give some time so that Sean and I can answer some questions if you guys have any. But the first thing I wanna do is I want to tell you a story, which Sean kind of gave you a little bit of it, but I do want to tell a little bit more. So in 2017, as Sean mentioned, he had quit corporate and he had come with me to work at my marketing agency, which I had since 2007. And we went looking for a building for our business. We had some good clients, we were doing pretty well, and we thought, well, this could be an investment. And even if we didn't keep the business there and we moved, because we had moved quite a bit, even if we didn't keep it there, we would have this as an investment. So we went and we looked for a realtor and we told her what we were looking for. Well, of course, Sean had one requirement that was a little bit different. He required that the building that we had a place for him to park the 1959 Cadillac that we had got from his grandfather that had passed away. Now, if you guys know the 1959 Cadillac, this is not a small car, and it does not fit into a garage very well, which we found. So the requirement was that we had to be able to park the car in there. And so we looked, and I can tell you that I did not get a building for my business. But what we did get was an opportunity, a crazy opportunity, to start a museum. Now, this was a dream of Sean's, something that he had thought about, something that we had talked about, but nothing that we thought was going to happen at this time. And I'll tell you, I am an optimist. I am like, let's go, let's jump in, let's see what happens. And so within 4 months, we opened up Miles Through Time Automotive Museum, and we had over $1 million in donated or loaned automobiles, exhibits on display. Now within 7 years, we have over 100 cars on display. We have 20 vehicles in our permanent collection, and we have 4 distinct galleries. Things have grown like crazy. But how do we do this? Because we did not have a benefactor. Sean's uncle's not rich, neither is mine. They didn't leave us a ton of money. We don't have stacks of cash, and we did not start with a collection of cars. We started with one. We only had one car. And I can tell you that the way that we did this was through digital marketing. So we all know about digital marketing, but I want you to think differently today. We're not going to talk about the normal digital marketing stuff because you guys know all that. So I want you to think about digital marketing just a little bit differently today. When you think about digital marketing, these are probably the things that you think about. Is that right? Right? Social media marketing, email marketing, making lots of content, sharing things, search engine optimization. But these are just tools. And I want you to think a little bit differently from here on out about digital marketing. Because when you think about a mechanic shop, okay, do you think about tools? When you think about it, do you think of, oh, they've got wrenches and all the things that they have? No. You think about what they can do for you. You think about the outcome that it's going to give you. You don't think of it in terms of tools. So I want you to stop thinking about digital marketing only as these tools that we have to use in order to get the word out about our museum. I want you to think about outcome. And that is where smart marketing comes in, and this is how you're going to get what you want from digital marketing by thinking a little bit different. I want you to stop thinking tools, and I want you to start thinking outcome. Because at the end of the day, all of us want the same thing. We all need more people to come to our museum. We need more people to know about our museum, right? We need to be able to keep our museum doors open, right? We want more people to know about it. So, because I was in the Army, this is little teeny me, SMART is an acronym. If you know, you know. And so the first part of smart marketing is sales. And this is how we're going to move people from browser to buyer, people that have no idea who we are, to people who will make a drive to come and visit us. The next part of smart marketing is message, and this is getting people to notice and to care about your museum. Then we have authority, and this is how you can use digital marketing to show people that you are worthy. And relationship, this is how you get people to know, like, and trust you. And then we have traffic, and this is getting more people to know about your museum. So now most people think of traffic. That's like the first thing that they want. We're going to be marketing. We just want more, right? We want more people to know about us. We want to send more people to our website. We want more subscribers. We want more fans. We want more followers. We want more likes. We want more, more, more. Is that right? Do you agree? Okay, so we want all these things, but we're not going to start there. We're not going to start with traffic, because traffic's at the end. We're going to start with sales. So that's going to be moving people from browser to buyer. So I want you to think in terms beyond in-person admission, because sales actually starts way before people actually come to your museum. It starts when they find out about you. And there are ways that you can start the sales process prior to people even walking into your museum. So what can this look like? This could be online ticket sales. This could be pre-sales of events. This could be merchandise that you sell online. This could be online donations that you get. This could be automated ways that they can support your business. This could be memberships or passes, gift cards, things that you purchase beforehand, or things that people purchase after they come to your museum. It's not just in-person admission that's part of your sales. And the second part of the sales process is your email list. Now, I don't know if any of you on Sean's email list? Yay! All right, because I'm going to talk a lot about email list here and why this is super, super important. So email list, what does this actually look like? This is your introduction to your sales process, and it's also a continuation of your sales process. This is the way that you can get people to like your museum before they even come in. Sean has people on his email list that live on the other side of the country that have never come into Miles Through Time, which is amazing. Email gets a better ROI than social media. For every $1 spent on email marketing, you can get $42 back. So that's 4,200%, not 42%, 4,200%. And you can't get that ROI. You cannot get that return on investment on your social media marketing. What else did I have here? The reason email also works so great, because I know a lot of people are like, I have social media, I don't need email. Email is one-to-one, not one-to-many. Even though you're sending out this email to a group of people, when somebody enjoys your email in their inbox, they don't think of it as you're talking to everybody. They think about it as you're talking to them. I can't tell you how many emails Sean gets that people respond to his email as if he only sent that email to that one person. It's a connection, it's a personal connection that you're just not going to get in other places. So the other way for us to think differently about sales is to get creative. So people like to spend, people like to travel, and you have to give them a reason. When you give people a reason, they're going to be more likely to come. So what are some of these ways that people come? Lots of museums have a Hoods Up weekend. Maybe you have a package deal that you could do online. Maybe when somebody, and only online, that you do a free t-shirt with a family membership. Maybe you could do special events beyond just a cruise-in. The thing with events is that you can just make them up. They don't even have to be real events. And there is a reason that you do this, and you're not just, we're open this weekend, but you actually create an event. Because with digital marketing and a lot of these websites, especially with Facebook, you can use their online event calendar. That means that anybody that's looking in your area, whether they're there or not, just by them being there, they can look up that event because you made up whatever the event is for that weekend, and it's going to show on a calendar. I looked up this one. Okay, you can see there's lots of car things going on in our area. You can see Tin Cup Grill. They actually have 2 events. They do it every, what is it, Sean? Every first Thursday, I believe it is. It's the same event every month. And they put it out by actually making an event on Facebook. And so other, museums, other places do these different events as well. And it's a way that you can let Facebook advertise your museum's event for free. A lot of this doesn't cost a lot of money. In fact, this costs no money at all. And all you would have to do is make up an event. It could be, if your name is George, you get into the museum free day. It doesn't matter. By having an event, it's going to be out there. So here are some of the things that we have done. So beyond admission, we actually have merchandise online. The cool thing about having merchandise online is it has cost us pretty much $0. We set up the store, we use the software that cost us about $20 a month, and we have 0 inventory. We took some of the designs that we had already in store, we uploaded them, we told them what we wanted it printed on. People can go there and order at any time. We don't have to be open. People from anywhere in the country can come and order shirts and have it be like they're a walking advertisement for us, and we don't pay a thing. They print it, they ship it, everything is done. We also do pre-sale events for some of our events. We accept donations online. People can purchase memberships and passes. We have made it easier for people to support the museum. And none of this takes, it does take a little bit of time. None of this takes a lot of money. And then once it's set up, it is set up. And it pretty much runs itself, as a lot of these digital marketing things do. Because all of these things are completely automated. Now that we have them set up, we don't have to think about them at all. And so as for the email list, we have prioritized building the email list. We have an email pop-up on the website. We also have a welcome sequence, which I'm going to get into a little bit more. And Sean sends incredibly consistent emails. So what works with, which one is this? With the events. So we have done a little bit more events, but for example, we had a chili cook-off. Now you might think chili cook-off has nothing to do with a museum, but why not? I'm telling you, you can make up whatever events you'd like. And the chili cook-off in Cruisin' ended up being our 2nd best day of the entire year. It was just a chili cook-off. And you can see that Savoy really does events very, very well as well. I know this because I get their email. And so I pulled up their email and looked at some of the things that they have going on. And I've noticed that they have highlights tours every week. They have this fantastic theater that unfortunately not all of us have, but they have movies, they have special exhibits, their cars, the collections change. These are all reasons that they can email. These are all reasons that they could post an event. And so any size museum can do these same things and have a reason for visitors to come out. So I lied. It wasn't smart marketing, it's actually smart AF. And the AF stands for automation and frequency. And these 2 are super important, and these are the two reasons that this all works. First, there's automation, because so much with digital marketing can be automated. You do not have to sit there and do all these things over and over again. You don't have to take all these orders. All of these things can kind of run themselves once you get set up, and they can make everything a lot easier, no matter what size team you have. So also frequency, because the only way that any of these things work is that you have to be consistent with them. But the good thing about that is that it's a consistency that works for you. I want you to make sure that you hear consistent and not constant, because those are two totally different things, okay? There is a minimum that definitely works, and I'll talk about those a little bit. Like you don't want to post to your Facebook page once a month, right? You don't want to email your list once a year. So there is a little bit to consistency, but it's always going to be something that you can make work for you. So what are some ways that you can automate your sales? Automate this whole process. I talked about some of the ways that we've automated some sales and some support. You can automate your list building. This is not something that you have to think about and you have to constantly do. This is things that you can automate, for example, with the pop-up. And you can automate a welcome sequence, and I'll talk about that a little bit more later. You can also share more often, especially with the events. These are all things that we're worried about. We're going to overdo it. We're going to overshare. We're going to bug our audience. Honestly, on social media right now, like for example, Facebook, when you post something, maybe 3% of your audience might see it. So there's no way that you're going to really share too often. People aren't going to say, they shared one too many car pictures, I'm unfollowing, right? So you want to also email each month, and you want to give people that reason to come out to your museum, whatever that reason might be that you can make up. So this can work for museums of all sizes. Many of these strategies are free or low cost. They can all start simple. It's something that any museum can start, and it's something that even the biggest museum, I don't care who you are, can make this as big and complex as you want to. This works for everybody, and that's one of the great things about digital marketing. It really has opened the door for every single business, every single person to get in front of more people than ever before in all of history. There's no gatekeeper. There's no TV station saying, we're not going to put your commercial on. There's no big budget that you have to do. You don't have to get permission from anybody. You have the ability to get in front of more people than ever before. So then there's the next part is message, and that's about telling your story and making people care. Because when people care, they actually act. When people care, they buy. When people care, they support. When people care, they share. And this is very important. So this here is a Peter Max painting. Sean and I went on several cruises with our kids, and kids are in the kid day club. They did not want to come out, and so Sean and I have to figure out things to do on the cruise. And one of the things we did is went to all these art auctions, and we saw these Peter Max paintings. How many people are familiar with Peter Max? Okay. And so we were like, I just don't get it. Like, these paintings are crazy expensive, but they're so simple. And that's just part of Peter Max's style. All of them are like that, very bright. And so we decided, because we were thinking of things to do, they had a Peter Max seminar. And so we sat through this Peter Max seminar, and we learned all about Peter Max, about his life, about the reason behind his paintings. We learned about the fact that the Statue of Liberty was in such disrepair that they were going to destroy it. The government didn't want to pay for it to be repaired anymore. They didn't know what to do with it. Yet Peter Max in New York said he is not going to let that happen. And he coordinated a fundraising event, and they raised enough money to fix the Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty would not be there if it wasn't for Peter Max. And so Sean and I heard that, and I can tell you we own 2 Peter Max paintings. Why? Because we cared. It gave us a different look on Peter Max. It gave us a different look on this painting. This is not the one we own, but we do own something similar. But it meant something to us now. We got it. We cared. We had a feeling about it. And this is something that you can do for your museum. So you have to think, what is your Peter Max story? You can also, for digital marketing, talk to a new demographic, and this is super important for all of us. Your audience is easy. When we're talking about boomer guys, that's an easy audience, right? We can make them very happy. We know how to talk to them. We know how to get them to come to our events. But what about everybody else? What about the younger guys? What about the ladies? What about the really younger ones, the teenagers that are just starting to drive? How do we make them care about coming to our museum? Because in 20 years, some of these older guys might not be around to come to our museum. And if they're not bringing their kids or their grandkids, if they haven't introduced their family into this world, if their family doesn't care, we have to do that. And digital marketing is definitely a way that you can talk to every age of person. And that doesn't even mean that you just have to be on TikTok and do crazy dances, I promise. So what have we done? To make them care, we tell the founding story. I told you the story about starting with one car. When people hear that, it's a different story. It's something that makes us unique. Now, there was the Atlanta Auto Show a couple weekends ago. Last weekend? 2 weeks ago. So Sean went down there and worked a day. I went down there with my son and worked a day. And we didn't want to bring a ton of stuff. So we brought a 1913 Helica replica. Now, if you haven't seen this, does anybody know what that is? Wow, okay. It is the craziest looking vehicle. It is half boat, half airplane, half tricycle. It is definitely something that is going to catch your eyes. It is a very unique vehicle. So when I was down at the car show, I didn't tell the story of the one car because nobody would have cared about that. What I told was the story about the Helica because that's what people were coming to see. So when they came to talk, when they came to look at the Helica, they didn't come to talk to me. I came to talk to them. When they came to look at the Helica, I went and talked to them and told them about how we have 100 cars on display, how we have weird stuff like this. We have unique displays, exhibits that you are not going to see anywhere else. That's the unique story that I told because that was what was going to work at that time. So your museum, maybe it doesn't have the one car founding story, but it still has these stories. And these are the stories that you have to tell. And then you have to tell them again and again and again. Because like I said, 3% of your people are seeing your Facebook posts. If you tell it again, they're not going to notice. And the ones that did notice, they probably forgot it. They've got so many things that they're seeing. So your stories are something that you need to cultivate and that you need to tell all the time. And the cool thing about digital marketing is you can tell them in text, you can tell them in pictures, you can tell them in audio, you can tell them in interviews, you can tell them in video, and all these different platforms that you could tell your story on. And your story also wants to be in your welcome sequence. Again, I will talk about that more. And if you see here, this is the Instagram. You can see that little pin on the top there. So those stories are actually pinned to the top of Instagram so that anybody that came for the first time to the Miles Through Time Instagram page, that story of how we started with one car is pinned to the very top because that's the important story that's going to tell people why they should care, why it's a little bit different. So talking to a new demographic, we have events for the younger crowds. We're cool with everybody, bringing in their newer Camaros, newer Mustangs. We make a welcoming crowd for everybody. We have expanded the variety on display, from turn-of-the-century cars to a 2022 Mustang. We've got a little bit of everything. Shauna does a great job as well with connecting with some influencers that has opened us up to a new demographic as well. We have some Cannonball cars on display. And Sean done a lot of interviews because when you go and you get interviewed, especially with podcasts and things like that, it is going to open you up to their entire audience, generally for free, and you can get in front of an entirely different demographic than you may not have been able to do on your own. So there are ways that you can automate this. Some of these story message type posts, automate them. That way somebody doesn't have to think about them. Schedule them out to go every once in a while. It's not something that you have to be like, oh, it's Monday, I gotta tell a story. If you have your stories already together, you can schedule them out for the next, let's say you do one a week, and you schedule them out for the next 5-6 weeks. And then you do them all again because nobody's gonna notice. But when somebody does come to your Facebook, your Instagram, anywhere online, they're gonna be able to catch that story when it's important. So with frequency, like I said, you want to share your story more often. And when you're talking to a new demographic, you still have to be consistent. You still want to be yourself. Just because you're talking to a younger group, maybe on TikTok, you don't change who you are. You still want to be consistent with your voice, with your story. Don't feel like I said, you don't have to go on TikTok and do crazy dances in order to get noticed by a younger crowd. And you always have the opportunity to use these different platforms. So again, this is for everybody. This is for the biggest museums to the tiniest mom and pop museum. Everybody can do this. Everybody has a story. Everybody has those unique pieces that tell your story. And these are ones that you want to tell. So the next is authority. And this is how you're going to make people want to visit your museum. Everybody's busy. They want to come. But it's just like the events. How do you get them to actually come? And the answer is you need to entice them. And digital marketing is a great place for you to entice people to come. Because really, it's like you're fishing. There are all these people out there. So if you think of social media, if you think of online as fishing, these are ways that you can entice people because you have to get them to make the drive, to pay the admission and feel like it was worth it. You have to get them to bring their family, tell their friends, to buy a pass. All of these things, you kind of have to prove yourself just a little bit to do this. And so what is your bait? Your bait is photos, and you can never have enough photos, right? Nobody ever said that was one too many car photos that you posted. Videos also, your story is another way that you can entice people. Media mentions, interviews, awards, and of course, reviews. The more reviews you have, the better social proof that is that people are going to be willing to come to your museum as well. So where do you entice your audience? All the normal places. We have Facebook and Instagram, YouTube. Also, your Google business profile is a place. If you haven't updated that, that is a great place that you can continually update and add videos and photos and posts and events. I think sometimes it's overlooked. We set it up and we're like, oh, that thing's good. But I think that that's where most people, when they're on their phone searching for some place to go, or they're in the area, that is the place that they're going to find you. So you have a way that you can entice people at the Google business profile as well. So what are some things that we have done that have worked? We are active on all the various social profiles. Sean is really great at being active everywhere. Sean does interviews and podcasts. He writes articles on the blog posts. He also does articles whenever somebody asks. We take a lot of pictures and videos, and then we reuse them and reuse them and reuse them in as many ways as we can. And we're not afraid to share and share and share again. So, like I said, you can automate some of these posts. If you're doing your just normal daily stuff, a few of these things, you can automate them and just have them go out. And the cool thing with like Facebook being connected to Instagram is that you can post on Facebook and automatically post to Instagram as well. So you're only posting one place, but it's going out twice. The same video that you put on TikTok can also be put as a short on YouTube, can also be put as a reel on Instagram. If you're making it once, why not put it every single place that it can go? There's no reason not to. So for frequency, like I said, more sharing, more fishing. The more you put out that bait, the more people you're going to be able to hit. So don't be afraid that you're going to be sharing too much. You can always repurpose and reuse all of your content. All of these things can be used. They can be posted again. Nobody's going to notice, I promise. But you also want to be consistent. And again, not constant. You don't have to post every day. You don't have to do all of these things every day. You don't have to email your audience once a week if you don't want to. Figure out what works for you and then stick with it. So they expect you. Sean sends an email every single Monday, and people have come to expect it. And that's the schedule that works for him. He's not doing every day. That wouldn't work. So he figured out a schedule that's going to work for him. Again, this is another thing. Whether you're a teeny tiny museum or you are a huge museum, all of these things work for you just as well. So then there's relationship, and this is how you get people to know, like, and trust you. And again, we don't want them to forget about you. I want you to think beyond just that one time, one and done. Someone comes in, they're gone, you might never ever see them again. They are all going to be a way that you can continue to market your museum. Admission is not the only way, because these visitors could be return visitors. They could be people that refer. They'd be like, hey, you're going to Georgia, you're going to the Atlanta area, you gotta check these guys out. They can buy a shirt after they get home and wear your shirt, around, and people are gonna ask them, where did you get that? They're the people that are gonna leave reviews, and we all know how important that is. Because all of these things, when people know, like, and trust you, that's when they feel connected to your brand, and that's how we want people to feel. So you also have your email list. Let's see here. You also have your email list, which is a great place for people to connect with you better. Remember, social media, you're kind of shouting into the wind. But when you email somebody, it feels a lot more one-on-one, and so that's a really great place that you can build this know, like, and trust. You can build your email list on your website. Like I said, we have a pop-up. You can do it on social media. It's also something that you should do at checkout. Give people an option, give people the ability, ask them if they can get on your email list. You can do it via QR code, so it's super easy for people to do it. You can do it at in-person events. There's all kinds of ways that you can get people on your email list. Then what? So I talked to you about this sequence. You always want to start with a welcome sequence. Sean started building his email list way before he started actually emailing. But once he started emailing, people started unsubscribing. They're like, who is this Sean guy that's emailing me? And they would unsubscribe. So we had done welcome email sequences with other clients of ours, other businesses, and so we put together a welcome sequence for Sean. So what does a welcome sequence look like? The first one, it would thank them. Thanks for, signing up and saying, I'm Sean, saying I'm Savoy, saying who you are so that they hear your name, they know who you are. And then you let them know what to expect from you. I'm gonna send you a few emails, I'm gonna introduce you. Then we tell the founding story. Then we tell a little bit more. Sean introduces the curator. We talk about a couple of the displays that we have. We get them to buy in. And this is within every other day for about 5 days. Then when Sean sends an email, they're not like, who the heck is this Sean guy? They've bought in. They know now who Sean is. And then the next week, they get another email. Then they know who he is, and they come to expect his email. He's made them care about the museum. And like I said, these are some people that have never been to the museum. These are people that live on the other side of the country. We walk around. Sean finds people that they're like, hey, I get your email. Like, Sean has made people care. And I think a lot of it is because he has introduced himself in these first emails, and now they've bought in. So then after you do your welcome sequence, then is when you want to email them. And a lot of people not really sure what you want to email. You can send them invites. Like I said, people think if you send them, some people will think that you are sending them an email one-on-one, and you can always treat it that way. Send them an invite to your event that you made up. Send them updates, send them news, tell them about the new cars that you have, anything that has changed. You could give them stuff that they feel is exclusive content. You could do some behind the scenes so that they feel special about getting that email. So what have we done? We have really prioritized, like I said, building the email list. We use the pop-up on the website. It works pretty well. We've had the welcome sequence, which has definitely reduced the unsubscribes. And like I said, subscribers from all over the place. All of this can be automated, all of the email stuff. Once somebody signs up online, they automatically go onto your email list. When you send out the email, they automatically get the email. So a lot of this list building can be automatic. It's not something that you have to do, which makes it a lot more easy. And you can schedule emails in advance. This isn't something that you have to sit down and do. You could schedule out your monthly emails at one time if you wanted to. For frequency, you want to set up a system for your email collection, also with your reviews, so that you don't really have to think about it. Like the people who work the counter, people who are working in your gift shop, you want to train them so that they not only maybe ask for reviews, but also ask for email addresses. If you set up that process, then you don't really have to worry about it. You want to send emails at least monthly, and you want to show up consistently, not constantly, and show up the same in every email. That way, people know what to expect. People want that rhythm. They want that relationship. So if you show up the same way every time, they always appreciate that. And again, this is for everybody. Maybe 20 years ago, 15 years ago, These type of systems that did this automation were expensive and hard to do. Some of this stuff you could almost do for free. Or, again, you can make it super, super complex. It's open for everybody. Everybody can do this. And once you set up this email process, it can pretty much run itself, other than you having to send out the email, but you can make a template. Like I set up Sean templates, and then I give it to Sean, and Sean's the one that sends out all the emails. So he doesn't have to worry about making a design mistake or doing anything weird. He just follows the template every week and sends out the email. So other ways that you can do relationship, of course, is to engage with your followers. People love, love, love when brands talk back with them, when they can have a dialogue with them. So if somebody makes a comment on your social media, on a YouTube video, when someone leaves you a review, talk back with them. Thank them, ask them questions, because then you get this dialogue with them that some businesses don't do. And that definitely helps build that know, like, and trust that, hey, they're regular people like me. They want to, converse with me. You want to show up in direct messages when people message you. You want to respond to it. It makes a big difference in how people are going to know, like, and trust you and feel like you care. And so the last one is traffic. So this is the one I said everybody likes to jump to. Everybody wants, more visitors and more. So what does this actually look like? So there's lots of places that you can get traffic, and maybe traffic is more of like a marketer word. This is website visitors. It's those more eyeballs on your business. It's more people to your social media. It's more people to your Google business profile. It's more people to see your business. And once you have all these things set up, that's the time that you want more eyeballs. So how do you get traffic? You can get traffic through social media. You can get it through Google searches are a great place. You can get it through the tourism sites. And you always want to direct people and let them know, direct people back to your website or tell enough about you there, tell your story so that you do all of these things. Reels, Shorts, TikTok, all of those are a really great way to get in front of more people. Social media likes to push that content out on new audiences, so that is definitely a way that you can get in front of more people. So now that once you've set up all of this smart marketing, now your content, now your traffic, it actually has a purpose. It has a reason. It's not just all, hey, look at me. It's not just, woohoo, my post got some likes. There's a reason for it. So your traffic now gets sales. Beyond just that one-time admission, you can actually get sales 24/7. You can spread your message. You can spread it consistently to more people and get these people to act, these people to care about your business. And not only when they're showing up in front of you, but anytime, from anywhere in the world. It also builds your authority as a museum that is worthy for people to get in the car and go to do instead of doing other things. It builds relationships, not just with your visitors that are in your hometown, but possibly anywhere across the whole country. And so beyond all the traffic ways that I've shared, we do a couple other things. One thing that Sean has said has always been one of the best things that he's done digital marketing-wise, besides the email list, is a Facebook ad. So we do have a Facebook ad that runs all the time. It is a nice small budget. We never turn it off. And it is geo-targeted towards people who are in the area. So they don't have to live there. Once they enter the area, they see the ad. And Sean has people all the time say, I saw you on the Facebook. So we definitely know that it works and gets people in the door. So all of this, again, can be automated. One thing that you want to do is set up your Google profile, and you want to go back to it. You want to make sure that this is something that you update. But it is something that's going to live out there forever and keep working for you really hard. You can set up all of your local sites, whatever's in your area. For events, that's a great way to catch people who are coming into the area. So whether you have tourism sites or Chamber of Commerce sites, anything that's available for you, all of these are going to be free that you can reach more people. And I would definitely consider a Facebook ad for any museum. That geo-targeting is fantastic. And that way people that, they're not really sure what they're going to do while they're in town, they happen to be sitting there at lunch on their Facebook, and an ad for your museum can pop up. Works very great. So again, I said, updating all of your profiles, staying consistent with them, a small budget ad that can run all the time. By small budget, the cool thing about Facebook ads, has anybody run Facebook ads? Okay, then the cool thing about Facebook ads is you set your own budget. You want to do $5? Fine. You want to do $100 a day? Fine. You want to stop it today, start it tomorrow, whenever. You have 100% control over what you do with your ad. We personally, we just leave it on all the time. And again, I really want you to understand about the post consistently, but not constantly. Whatever it is for you. Whatever it is, so that when people come to your social media, that they realize that you're active there. So it doesn't have to be all the time, all the time. And again, this works for everybody. This isn't just for big museums. This isn't just for big teams. This isn't just for people who have a marketing, department. This is for every single museum. The Facebook ad, any museum can do this and really have it work for them. And the thing that I love about digital marketing is that it really levels the playing field. I'm glad that I'm in business at this time and not like 30 years ago, where everybody didn't get to play. Everybody didn't get this opportunity. And now is such a great time that we can do whatever we want. There are no rules to it. We can post as many times as we want. We can make videos. We can reach out to people. We can email people. It doesn't cost a lot. There's a lot of opportunity right now with digital marketing. And it levels the playing field for the small guys and the big guys alike. And it's a way that you can get tangible results. And so when we're thinking differently about digital marketing, I know sometimes people think that it's a lot of posting and they don't really see what the results are. We know we're putting a lot out, but we're not really sure what we're getting back. And when you think differently about digital marketing like this, and beyond it just being tools, you can actually see real, tangible results. And so I hope that you guys follow Sean online. Sean personally is on Facebook and Instagram, so you can find him there. And then if you want to follow Miles Through Time, it's on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, it's everywhere, TikTok. And then if you want to follow me, I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. I'm not on that TikTok. Sean does TikTok. And then for me, you'll find marketing and Olympic weightlifting content. So I want to thank you guys for the opportunity to talk to you today. We do have a little bit of time, tiny bit of time. If anybody has any questions for Sean and I, we would be happy to take them. Yes, ma'am. Torie Mathis, do you know how long?
I don't know. You set that up.
Oh, that was my question.
Okay. Well, see, since we're on the board, like I believe when we did it, we kind of looked at like we want to make sure we hit people in Greenville, and we want to make sure we hit people kind of in Nashville. So I think we may have went 75 miles or so. It's going to be dependent on your location, but I would look, like it'll start to show you like where it's at, and I would look to make sure that you hit the areas you want to, like maybe that big city that's nearby that people are like, we're done here, what else can we do? And maybe they'll jump over to the next city or the next town to maybe come see you. So it's going to be a little bit different. I think if you go too far, it's too far for anything. And you can always adjust that. You could run 2 separate ads and do one far, one near, and kind of see which one. Like if you're never getting anybody commenting or sharing on the one that's further, you can say like that one doesn't work. So there is a way to kind of test that a bit.
Okay.
Does anybody do geo with their Facebook ad? Do you have anything to add? What do you think? What do you do? Do you know?
I don't do them consistently. I mean, we do them more when we have events.
Okay.
Something major.
Okay.
And so we're in Michigan, so we make sure we hit the Detroit area. Ours kind of, I don't know if anybody's here from Canada. We love you, but we end up picking up a lot of Canada too because that circle, we're right on the water.
Okay.
But it's not bad because we do get a lot of people coming in from Canada.
Okay.
So it's not bad.
For sure. So every area going to be a little bit different. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Torie, with your online marketing program in place, what are your main sources of revenue?
With the museum, admission definitely is a part of it. And Sean could probably, Sean could probably talk to this. Some of our online stuff, like the merchandise, we have just started, ramping up a little bit more. Sean?
Yeah, our main source of revenue is admission. Then it would be merchandise sales, both in-store and online. And then it would be donations. We have a couple cars that are on storage from the original location and the original business model. I kept them on storage just because there's only a handful of them and the circumstances of which they're in storage for, but I don't accept any future storage because I don't have the bandwidth to handle all of that, and I don't care to. So for the most part, it's admission.
And when we first started, we were a profit museum. Like when we started in 2017, we were for profit. Our business model looked a little bit differently, and as we've matured, and so mature, and as we've come along, we have changed. We are a nonprofit now, so that's something new to us, and so we're really learning how to be a nonprofit and how to take advantage of some of those things. But I know that if you make it easier for people to support your business, more people are likely to. The more you ask, the more you do receive, and so that is definitely something that we're trying to work into our marketing more.
So when you have a special event on site, do you charge for that plus admission?
So for like the chili cook-off, it was in the museum. So if you wanted to be a part of it, you had to come in. But we also had several car clubs that cruised in. We don't charge for that. Everybody outside is for free. We have bathrooms that everybody can use. You don't have to charge for that. When we do our big car show, there is a registration fee for that, but that does include admission and a free t-shirt. So we kind of work that all in as a special deal. Does that answer your question?
It does, yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. So she asked if we do A/B testing for ads. Right now we have one that works really well, so we haven't really done a lot with it. Sean does do ads sometimes when he has the larger car show, and we will run several ads at once. Facebook now is pretty good at, like, if it's not working, it's not going to charge you more, it's just not going to show it. So it kind of A/B tests it a little bit itself. I think A/B testing when you first start a ad is always a good idea because text can be different, the images that you use can be different, though a lot has also changed that now you can say, here's 5 different images, and it'll automatically choose which one is better. You can even put different headlines and different text in one ad, and it will just use its algorithm to choose which one is better. So are you using that? Right. It is really nice. Yep, and if you can figure out what that key is that you can, like people saying, I saw you on Facebook, like how can you get people to actually say that? So, figuring out what you can do to get that tangible, maybe you give people, they sign up and they get $1 off, then you get their email address, you get $1, they're gonna bring it in, that worked. Right? So if you can do things like that, that's a really great way that you can test it and have more than just, because it's really easy to be like, pretty car, like, and you don't know if people really liked the ad because they might want to come. And so giving them an offer like that is a way that you can test it and have it, have a little bit more power behind it. Yes? So Sean honestly doesn't do a lot of scheduling for the museum. He does a little bit, and so we do a little bit through the Business Suite. So Business Suite would be like through Facebook or Instagram. It automatically has a scheduler in there. And then YouTube, obviously, you can schedule that as well. I think it matters what you want from it. There are a couple that have a queue, which is really nice. So a queue, it's a bucket. right? So you say like, these are my stories. And so you put all of those posts into a bucket, and then you say like every Wednesday, pick one of these and post it. Not all the schedulers have that. And so if that's something that you're looking for, then there are ones that do that. And I could let you know some that do that. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to ask, you were starting to talk about it earlier, but KPIs, like what kind of strategies do you use to capture data about key performance indicators? Like you were starting to talk about maybe like discount code or surveys or just verbal checks at the front door. Do you have any other strategies that you might share with us or things you've heard?
The coupon code is always a really great one. Anytime we do anything for print, we always do a code because that is, there's no data on that. Just looking through the analytics inside of Facebook, you can start to see if people are clicking through. You can see if people start to say it. So that's a little bit of indicators. With print, always. We always have a coupon code because there's never any way. You can set it up, and again, then this would grow your email list to say, you know, drop in your email and we'll give you $1 off. We'll give you $2 off. Well, you know, whatever it might be. And so people that take you up on that offer, you're definitely going to see something tangible. And people are used to giving up their email. You know, it's not something like, no, I'm not going to do that. And it's a way that you can, you know, do two things at one time, that if they don't come in, you got their email. You can continue that relationship to keep marketing for them. So something, you always want to just have something that they're going to find valuable. Sometimes we want to offer things that we find valuable, but you need to do it something that's going to be willing for them to not only put in an email address, but also to come in and use that. But the data that some of these social media platforms show, and that you can see the click-through rate to your website. Google Business shows how many people ask for directions, how many people, you know, use the phone number on there. They're giving you a lot of data that you can make some good decisions just based on that, and to kind of budget from there. Okay. Yes, sir. Absolutely not. We have a couple of things that we use. The store that we use is Shopify. And if anybody wanted to know more about that, Sean or I could definitely talk to you about that. And that's the one that it's a coordination, that it's an online, you know, shopping program. It's pretty easy to set up. And then there's different vendors that they have, that they work for, that do what's called a direct to garment, direct printing. And so they print it. It's not even like a screen print, because like when we do it in-house, everything is one color, because we're trying to keep, you know, costs down, and we don't want too much, you know, to have in store. You don't have to do that with this. You can do full color, you can do all kinds of stuff. Either people are going to buy it or they're not, but there's no cost to you for putting those types of things out there. So if you wanted some more information about that, I could definitely talk to you about that. Absolutely. Anybody else?
Any more questions?
Awesome.
Okay.
All right, well, I want to thank you guys for letting me come in and talk to you today. I definitely appreciate it, and hopefully I gave you some ideas, or at least made you think a little bit differently about digital marketing.